Hey everybody, Scott here for the Digital Guitar Playground. It's Tuesday. Oh, what happened to Monday? Well, it was one of those days. Just didn't feel well enough to do a video, and it was just in bed, out of bed, blah, 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 just not cool. So today I am feeling better, and I got a request from Jim, who plays guitar in church, and his church is getting some new amps. So he was curious how to run a Helix. I'm going to use the HX Stomp as my example here. How to run it into an existing amplifier. I mean, there's so many ways. You can run it straight into the front with just effect pedals like overdrives, compressors, delays, reverb, and stuff like that. Or you can use preamps and then run it into the effects return on the amplifier, utilizing just the amp's power section and speaker. That's the way that I recommend doing it, just because it sounds better, it feels better, to me. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple of the different ways that I would do it. One using preamp models, others using amp models. And there are some differences. Volumes are very different from preamps to amplifier models. And the way that they work with effects is also very different. These examples are going to be without reverb, just because the reverb examples were wildly different. With the preamp, the reverb was more subdued. With the amplifier model, the reverb was just crazy. So those are things you need to just experiment with yourself, trial and error kind of stuff. But amp models versus preamp models is what's happening today. So, shall we? Alrighty, I am going to do this bit handheld just to show you what's going on. The HX Stomp is utilizing a pair of presets, one called preamps, one called amps, and all the settings are exactly the same. As far as the settings go, because on a preamp you don't get as many setting options on the amp models, especially on the tube amp models like this one. It stops at hum, doesn't give you the bias, the ripple, stuff like that. Bias X, blah blah blah, and that I use the bias to boost for leads as part of my 3-tiered plan, which is master, bias, and then output volume. Those 3 things equal my lead boosts. So anyway, we are going into the amp 1. Amp 1 is set flat, bass is 5, middle's 5, treble's 5. Set the amplifier at a little less than 3, and none of this matters because we're just we're going into the amp return, and then out into the blue box, and the blue box is just for the through to go to the Jet City Jet Stream. Oh, good stuff. Let me put this down and grab a guitar. Alrighty, let's start with the I've got 3 snapshots on both of these, and they are using the same amplifiers, same stuff. My camera's going to freak out every time I put my finger in front of this thing. The Jazz Rivet and the RevGen Purple. I'm using my IR, of course. Some dual pitch just on the clean, and then an EQ on both. So a lot of stuff changes when I hit the EQ for the 3 snapshots. Here's my clean. And it's just a cool, just a cool, you know, modulated clean sound. Very clean. The middle snapshot is just rock. If only I knew how to play that part. Yeah, whatever. The third one, big lead sound. Very cool. Moving on to the next one. Amps. Now, same stuff, same settings for everything. So if we go over to the, but there are more options. Like on the Jazz Rivet, it gives you the option to add brightness. Now with the RevGen Purple, it gives you extra stuff like, you know, the ripple and bias. But that's, you know, pretty much that. Now the clean on this one is much louder. I had to back off the volume on this one because down to 8, the other one was on 10, and then on the IR I had to back it way off. I should probably tune up. Jesus Christ, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, now I'm in tune. The rock. And the big lead sound. I'm thinking that here comes the lead sound, but it just, you know, something about the amp model as opposed to the preamp model that just, to me, sings more. To me, that just, I don't know, something about it. Going, let's go back to the other one. It just, I don't know. I realize it's not as loud, there's that. Even though, you know, the drive is the same. The master is exactly the same. The aggro is the same, blah, blah, blah. But there's something that the amp delivers that the preamp doesn't really. Okay, here we are back at the preamp lead. And then the amp. Oops, I keep touching my. Something a little bit muddy about the preamp that's not happening with the full amp model. And I'm not sure what it is. They both have the same setting. They're both the same on the IR as well, and on the EQ. Or are they? Hang on a minute. I think I might have figured out what I've done wrong. Fuck. I don't think the other one's -7 at 16K. That might be the problem. Let's see. It is. Anyway, so there's that. It is the same. Something about the amp model over the preamp model, to me, it just sounds more lifelike, or it's just got more life to it, you know? Hey, you know, yeah, I learned something today. Good times. There you go, everybody. A good look at amplifier models versus preamp models run into the effects return of an amplifier into an actual speaker. Blah, blah, blah. In my case, you know, the Jet City Jetstream ISO cab with a 40-watt tone tubby speaker, SM57, run into the Helix as the interface. So it takes the microphone and then over to the computer. Good times. Drop me a line for other requests, because I'm going to continue to do requests through the rest of the month. Lay them on me. Cool. Alrighty, I will see you tomorrow. And until then, rock on.